Right then, welcome back to the channel and to another customer car video. So before you click next on this video, because you're probably thinking, well, I've already seen all these 430 and 435Ds Darkside are doing, they're over 400 horsepower. This is actually a 420D. So the turbo kit on this is a little bit different to the usual 28s that we fit in on the 3 litre engines. So let's have a look at what we've fitted. So this is a brand new kit that we've developed for this car. So it's running our stainless tubular manifold, billet CNC machine collector, and then down there what you can see is a GTD2056 Turbo. And the nice thing about this kit is it retains the standard airbox. So literally off the turbo compressor housing, clips straight onto the intake pipe, and that retains the standard airbox. So nice little kit. So other than the standard deletes on this car, everything else is pretty much stock fuel system. We have fitted a uprated metering valve onto this while it's been on the dyno to see if we could squeeze a little bit more power from the stock fuel system. So that is why the stock metering valve has been removed. That's the stock one, and we put an upgrade in there. As you can see, we have got two dyno graphs. So we've got one with the stock metering valve and one with the metering valve upgrade. So a nice 10 horsepower increase pretty much across the rev range, and then another 15-20 foot-pound across the rev range as well, which is pretty good for literally just dropping in the metering valve. The overall power figures to say that this is an N47 engine, I believe, on the stock fuel system is pretty good. So to say this is a 20D engine, it is now up at 30D performance. Perhaps not quite as much torque as the 30Ds would normally produce in standard form, but I'd imagine you would be able to pick one of these 20Ds up for a significant amount less than a 30D or a 35D. So this is a really nice spec vehicle. Other than the 420 badge on the back, I think you'd be pushed to tell that this was even a 420D anyway. It's got the M Performance parts, head-up display, leather seats, everything that you'd want from a BMW, other than, subjectively, the 3 litre engine. But let's get this out on the road, see what it drives like. So, we're just out in the 420D, and initial impressions, pretty good. Still getting the car up to temperature, but something I have noticed compared to the 30D engines and the 35D engines is how this car feels weight-wise, if that makes sense. Straight away you can just feel like the front end of this car is a lot lighter than the 3 litres. So I'm just going around the roundabout now, and I can't quite put my finger on it, but it just feels a little bit more responsive than the 3 litre engines. This particular car, it hasn't got fancy Pilot Sport 5 tyres on it or anything like that. I think they're Devantis. So yeah, I don't think it's anything to do with how this car's set up and suspension, wheel and tyres. It's literally just the weight of the front end. Feels a lot better in this 20D. Feels, if anything, it feels a little bit more balanced than the 30Ds that feel a little bit more front heavy. But you haven't come here for my opinions on how this car is out of the factory. We want to know what the turbo's like, and the answer is it's pretty good. I don't want to compare this car too much to the 3 litre engines, but it feels more responsive from the offset. I know on these autos the gearbox does a lot of the work in terms of when you put your foot down, it drops it into the right RPM range, so you're already on boost. But even when you're not in this, I'm in 5th gear at the minute, 2000 RPM, 6th gear now, but gently accelerate, and it doesn't feel laggy. It doesn't feel laggy at all. Nice, smooth progression on the power. If you drove this and drove a 30D, you'd know exactly what I mean by the front end feels a lot more nimble. But we'll put it in sport, and we'll accelerate. response, very good. Like I mentioned, the gearbox does its job, downshifts, you're exactly in the rev range where you need to be for the power band. But it is quick, this. It is quick. I think if you've already got a 2 litre, or potentially the 3 litre is out of your budget at the minute, and you want to modify the car, this turbo kit it's a good option rather than just upgrading to a 3 litre. You're not missing out on much, to be fair. I think the most impressive part of this turbo is the response. It feels really, really responsive. Even compared to like the 2260 kits we've done in the past on these BMWs, this 2056 GTD turbo, which is a newer version of the Garrett ball bearing turbos, you can tell it's a lot more responsive. Matches the engine very well, and yeah, I think it's a good upgrade. If you've got a 320D or a 420D, I'm not sure, I'd have to check, it might fit the like 520Ds and other models as well. But yeah, I do think this is a really good upgrade for you. As mentioned earlier on in the video when it was on the dyno, other than the metering valve upgrade, this vehicle is on completely stock fuel system. Literally just turbo, metering valve, and away you go, 270 horsepower. I think that's more than enough for most people. So we've got a nice stretch of open road now, so I'm going to slow down a little bit and give it some. I go up to 60 mile an hour pretty quick. Really impressed with this turbo on this car, suits it very well. After this we might try and use the GTD2056 more often. Maybe redesign a few old kits to use this. Need to move forward with times. So I think we'll wrap this video up here. Pretty sure the customer is going to be happy with this. I know I would be if I dropped it off for a turbo kit and got nearly 100 horsepower on top of what it came in on. So we'll hand over the keys this afternoon, get his feedback on this. But thank you again for watching. Please click the like button and subscribe to the channel. See you in the next one.